think people make New Year's resolutions because of the historical significance of them and the fact that these have really become a societal norm. One of the major reasons why people don't really end up always achieving their New Year's goals is because of how they end up setting these. And in fact, what people tend to do is they, instead of setting a very specific goal, they treat New Year's resolutions as lifestyle changes. The research says on how people pursue goals, if you're going to set a goal, you need to not only have that endpoint in mind, you need to not only know where you're going, but you have to know how you're going to get there. When I think of New Year's resolutions and the sort of missing ingredients that we need in order for people to keep their resolutions, there's really two things that I think about. One of those is goal pursuit. And this is, again, as I said, the basic idea is that when you set a goal, you're basically saying, here is where I want to get to. The second key piece when it comes to New Year's resolutions is New Year's resolutions often involve struggles with self-control. And so the kind of things that people want to change about their lives are usually those things that they've had problems with in the past, right? Self-control is really all about, it's essentially a battle between two things. That is, how you're going to do in the long term and sort of the immediate temptations that pop up. One of the reasons that people fail so often is because they have set this goal, they know where they want to get to, but they're still existing day to day in the same environment that is creating all these temptations, or that's offering all these temptations. Yeah, I do think that when people focus on the goal rather than the entire process of getting to the end point, to get, how to pursue that goal, how to complete that goal, that's really what can lead to a lot of these failures, people not meeting their New Year's resolutions. Whether or not people should set New Year's resolutions really depends on what they need to stimulate them towards some way of bettering themselves. Some people may really benefit from setting New Year's resolutions. That is, if you really need some sort of instigator to get you motivated, to get you active, pursuing that resolution, then sure, I think that's great, as long as you're taking into account the whole process of getting to that goal. However, because we tend to, as a society, hold up New Year's as this time for making these major resolutions. Again, we can set these unrealistic expectations. It may be better for many people to not really put that weight on New Year's, but set different sorts of maybe a little bit more reasonable goals throughout the year.